good, well done to hold the Legacy of Yata. I would like to see him hold this as long as possible. No, okay, never mind. Hello and welcome to Master Edison Format. This is a channel for you to get better at Edison. And today we're gonna be reviewing some replays that one of my subscribers sent me. His name is Naki. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing that. But yeah, you see me often reviewing, replays from the best players or my own replays and things like that. And I think it could be helpful also, especially for some beginner players, to review some replays from basically a beginner who was, at least smart enough or confident enough to understand that he's not the best at the game and to ask for help. I think and ask for some feedback on his plays. I think that's one of the best ways to learn. If you have the opportunity, I'm happy to help. I don't do any coaching or anything like that. I do it for free. Of course, this is not my main job, so it might take me a little bit of time to get to your replay or get to your questions. But I'm happy to help. And today we're going to be reviewing his replays. So before we start with the replays, just to review kind of the deck list he sent me. This is his Dragon Beat deck. I'm not a huge fan of Dragon Beat in general, so I don't know exactly what's supposed to be played, what's better, what's worse. Just off the top of my head, some advice I can give you is that there's some cards here which don't really work very well. I would say 2 Starlight is too many. You play 3 draw traps, Heavy and Heavy Storm doesn't really hurt you that much. So, and Starlight, again, in the replays you'll see, is one of the cards you kind of end up with that you really don't want. So I would cut one or maybe both of them. I would play, if you really want some protection, maybe something like 1 Trap Stun if you really wanted, but for sure I would play MST in the main. I would play maybe Return from Different Dimension. I think that would be a good card. I would play 2 Oppressions in the side rather than just 1. I would the other things I would cut is this White Knight Dragon. Yes, this can be very strong when you summon it off the red eyes, but in watching the replays, it's one of the cards that are dead most often in your deck, so I would cut this. I would even play something maybe like a DDR. I don't know if that's too crazy or too turbo, but I would cut this. I would cut Tornado or put it in the side simply because it's not good against every matchup, and I feel like MST is just better. And this is not a deck that OTKs that often. You're kind of beating down mostly, so yeah, I would cut this. I would, you're playing Rhoda with only 2 targets. I think it's too thin, it's too few. The Rhoda is gonna be dead often. You might just want to have, I guess it's fine. It's not the worst thing. Maybe you want to add you don't have any really targets in the side. Maybe you want to have just 3 Warrior AD maybe. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit strange when you play a search card and you only have 2 cards you can search for, or 2 copies of 1 card you can search for it. The Debris is also, to me, I think too inconsistent. You only have 1 target that you can special summon with it, and this is often gonna be banished for whatever reason. So Debris I don't think is amazing here. If you play the version with Dandelion or things like that, and Foolish and ways to basically put the Dandy in the grave, then yeah, Debris would be much better. But I think this card and this card, maybe you want to just play 2 Totem Dragons, cut the Debris. I would say over the. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that you have the Light and Darkness, but you probably need to play 2 Totem Dragons or more to kind of summon this. Yeah, I think that's my main advice. The rest of the deck seems fine. These are just kind of just a rather good normal summons, good monster. Perhaps maybe it's more normal summon heavy. Some ideas I can give you is to try stuff like Ultimate Offering if you want to make this a little bit faster, a little bit, how to say, which is more powerful. But again, your deck kind of plays a hero beat, but where instead of the Miracle Fusion being your bomb, you have the Red Eyes summoning as being your bomb. So the other really important thing is fix this alternate art. This is just so. I don't like this art, but on top of that, you have 2 different arts on the same card. I just don't like it. I thought this was a different dragon I didn't know about for a second. So yeah, that's my advice on the deck, and let's go to the replays. I'm going into this blind, so I don't know what to expect. But yeah, he looks like he's a new account and he's playing this. This might be some type of Dragon Beat or yeah, some type of Disaster Dragon deck. He's playing against some Polymerization deck. I'm just gonna go through relatively quickly. So here he starts off with Ghost Arc for Future Fusion, set Warrior ready. I would say I don't really have anything much to say here. I would say that with 2 back row set, you're fine to even not summon this. The problem with summoning this is that they might just trade for it with like whatever they want, and this is actually a pretty clean answer to a lot of things. So you want to keep it for, you know, for the vanities or, you know, different things. So here he dash shoots. You have to dash shoot when they usually I do it in the standby phase. If you want to dash shoot before they do anything, you have to. The best way to do it in the Rainbow is either to call priority, but that's awkward. Just when they switch from draw phase to standby phase, that's when you dash shoot, and then you get to take the card. So that, you know, if you go to main phase, they have priority to use something, upstart or summon a monster. So yeah, so dash shooting is good. You can make an argument also for not doing it, but I think it's fine. You're going blind, I think it's correct too. I'm saying make an argument for holding it, I think it's correct. And then he's playing against some type of dragon hero polymerization deck. Good, well done to hold the Legacy of Yata. I would like to see him hold this as long as possible. Not okay, never mind. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I don't like flipping this simply because like you're most likely gonna summon the Kokimero. You have a dragon in hand anyway. Like what you can do, and against you really don't know what you're playing against. You know what this could be. Like this could be a torrential, so like you don't really want to do this if that's what you think they have. Like, and like Legacy is something that could get Heavy Stone, could get MST'd, could get, you know, your opponent's gonna have to think about, and you don't have any other back rows to set. So you really want to hold this until, you know, they make a decision about what to do with this. So I don't like using this here because it doesn't really give you, I don't think it really gives you too much extra. I think on top of that you might draw the targets you want to send with Future Fusion. So I really don't like this play. And here, even summoning Kokimero there, I know you're afraid of Mirror Force and all this, but if you're really afraid, you could just flip the Warrior Ready attack, and this way you play around both Mirror Force and Torrential. So yeah, now I guess yeah, you're negating special summons, but now this is you don't know if this is even gonna matter. Opponent, you see, has the heavy, so if you've kept the Legacy, he probably would have heavied or would have used something because he doesn't have. Or maybe he would have held the heavy, but like you know, you still would have made him waste a card for no reason. So, and this is something that comes up often. Now, Gorsaurus gets a Future Fusion. He has a 5-headed dragon. You actually can't do this. You can't try to summon 5-headed because you have the Kokimero Dragon in play. So that's this prevents you from even being able to use Future Fusion. So this is 2 reasons why not to summon Kokimero and just start being down with the Warrior Ready. So actually, this is not a legal play. There's an illegal play, so yeah, this was yeah, I mean, you're not really allowed to do this, but so that's kind of the first mistake. And on top of that, since if you knew you're not allowed to do this, which I'm guessing you didn't know, you don't summon this and you just keep in your hand. Yeah, so like same as like things like Vanity's Emptiness, Vanity's Fiend, it kind of prevents you from even using this. And you could use this if you had a different fusion that wasn't light or dark, but since you revealed the 5-headed dragon, which I believe is dark, yeah. On top of that, yeah, now you get heavied, which again, it's kind of a double punish, but yeah, Super Pori comes down, Gaia, yeah, here basically the Kokimero didn't really do much. Here this gain the tag where you take a big amount of damage. That's the other thing. If you just leave DD Warrior Ready here, they have to attack this. They can't really kill the Drago now. They would have to trade with this if they want to do some damage. Yeah, you take them. Now Debris comes down, gets the Totem Dragon. Again, Totem Dragon shouldn't even be in the grave, but okay. We're gonna just forget about this whole thing. And now Red Eye is gonna bring back Kokimero. I mean, let's see what else you have. I think you need to bring back the Prime Material. You don't have any dragons in hand, so don't really understand this play, to be honest. But I think the Prime Material would be better here. I mean, if it's game anyway, it's fine. I don't understand trading with the Gaia when you can't you just attack with the Red Eyes? I think this is perhaps also a mistake. You can just have the Warrior Ready. You would still have the Warrior Ready in the future. Oh, sorry, my bad. You want to go for game. Okay, that was my bad. That was correct. I completely forgot what the life points were at. So actually, that was the correct play because this way he can't summon the Trago Idea Go. So actually, that was actually pretty good high level play. That was my bad for not checking the life points sooner. So yeah, that's better than the Prime Material. In that case, you pair around Ghost, pair around Trago Idea. So well done there. Now, opponent starts off with Dandy. You go with the Spear Dragon. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess like against this type of monster, you could even just go Warrior Ready and see if like you want to banish it or something. But you know, this is most likely not a dragon. He plays Rainbow Dragon here. I mean, this is just two random decks. Kokimeru Dragon maybe kind of stops this, but if they have 7 Crystal Beast cards, but okay, yeah, that doesn't really do a ton of things. Here, Super Poly comes down. He can't summon this because of Kokimeru Dragon, so again, this should stop this. So even if it's summoned through polymerization, this should stop the Neoson coming down. I think there's a little bit of confusion on like what's going on. This stops Light and Dark, and this even Future Summon is a special summon, so unless there's some effect I'm missing, since this can't be, I don't even know what I'm missing, but anyway, this shouldn't be on the field either. So yeah, we need to figure out what's going on with the Kokimeru. He attacks, Prison is used, Book of Moon is chained, Smashing is chained, and Smashing will hit the Kokimeru Drago, and now he has the Warrior Lady as an out to the big monster, which again should not even be on the field, and then Spirit Dragon attacks. Now he has Call of the Haunted, which can actually be quite strong here, chain to, I mean, I guess Miracle Fusion doesn't summon Light or Dark, but chain to an effect that would special summon, it would basically make it fizzle because you can get the Kokimeru back, but you don't have that yet. And then yeah, he adds Neos. Doesn't have the targets for Miracle Fusion yet, and so now Kokimeru is back, keeps revealing. Now this is a pretty decent lock, except Arios could crash here. I would argue that you probably want to crash, like, you can summon, like, you can just summon a bigger monster and then like just attack her, so Trunade happens and this dies. And okay, yeah, there's a little bit of confusion here. I'm trying my best to like catch what's happening. So this is gonna be in hand. Kokimeru Dragon is that it goes to graveyard, and now sorry, they're rewinding. Okay, time to figure out what's going on. Okay, so Kokimeru Dragon attacks. It's gonna crash. You lose Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted like is actually kind of valuable. But yeah, this was like preventing you from summoning your own red eyes. I would say if you're gonna make that play, I would prefer to see, like, if you're gonna like, if you want to, I mean, you would have closed the game here. You can Trunade and then no more summon Master Dragoon, banish it for the red eyes. Red eyes can bring back Kokimeru Dragon or the Spirit Dragon, and then attack over the Arios, and that would have been game. So I think he missed game here. Now the mirror comes down, and yeah, Torrential Decree. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate. That's like the maximum punish. Yeah, so now he's making this play now, but now you're gonna lose both monsters. And I don't even know what this dragon does. Okay, this is against trap. Against this deck, like, if you don't see a lot of traps, like, I would side this out. This is, I guess, like, you can chain it to your own traps maybe, but like, yeah, it's a little bit thin. But yeah, he does have the new series now, and like in end phase you can bring back something with the Red Eyes Wyvern. You could set the star rate here. I mean, not that it really matters. The Smashing though comes down, and now Tornade comes down, and now yeah, you have a way to survive. Composing here, I would just go to 100 life points, to be honest. I don't think you need to compose. I guess, like, yeah, there's the decree, so maybe it's, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're already so far behind. I think you had game and you kind of missed it here. But anyway, he goes to Ancient Fairy. We're just going to fast forward a little bit and time to like catch up. Ancient Fairy is going to be game here. Decree, yeah, there's the decree set. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, you just with the Tornade you had game, I'm pretty sure, unless I missed what he had in hand. Again, go for Red Eyes, Kokimeru Dragon. Okay, it's not a bad start. I would say, you know, yeah, heavy. This is gonna get to crash, and now you can Book of Moon that, and now you can Gemini Spark this. So yeah, I mean, pretty good outcome in standby phase. And then yeah, you have another Drago, but you're just basically beating down. He does have the polymerization again. Please remember that you can't summon the whatever you call it, the light monster. So now he crashes. Mass Dragon though is gonna keep beating down. This is basically a Dragon beat deck. Like, I mean. Now again, polymerization, yeah, now it can be used smashing, and I mean this is gonna be a ton of damage. I guess that's why he's playing that monster. So he's shuffled. Is he shuffling everything back? What does this do? Okay, yeah, shuffles everything back, sets one. Now what can this do? Oh, you can shuffle all the monsters into the deck. Yeah, that doesn't feel great. Okay, so now you're gonna have to use the return to save yourself. And yeah, this gets banished. Yeah, so it's game. Nothing to do there. I think game 3, I wouldn't really. There's not too much you can do. Like, he had a pretty good start. What I would say is just yeah, like there's a game 3. I can't really think, like, you could argue not to start that way, but like that actually would be, I think the game 3, nothing to say. Game 2, you had game and you miss it, and in general game 1 there was some confusion about future fusion and your Kakimero Drago. And yeah, this card is very strong, but especially against certain decks, but it's kind of a double-edged sword because it prevents your own dark red eyes. But I think in game 1, apart from the whole future fusion, you played well to summon this to play around ghosts. Into the next 3, playing against Utopic Future, and again, you're playing with this Dragon Beat deck. Ghost Arc for Junk Synchro is something you don't see any day. Atlantean Pikeman is also something you don't see every day. And then what's this doing? Yeah, this is just some random stuff. Kindling, Fire Dog, okay. A lot of random stuff. Yeah, this is going to... I mean, yeah, I don't really know what you're playing against. So this gets banished for red eyes. I would say, like, yeah, like, I mean, you kind of have to get aggressive sometimes, but this is very aggressive. Generally speaking, you want to trade your monster. Like, what I would have done here is go for the Spear Dragon, attack this, because you have Torrential too, so I think this is way too aggressive, because if he bottomlesses here, yes, you can summon from hand something, but like really, you're not in, I don't like committing like this so heavily. I mean, you don't know what this deck does even, but anyway, what I would say is summon Spear Dragon, attack over this, and then just pass with Torrential Legacy Viata, and the next turn, if the Spear Dragon survives, you can banish it for red eyes. If your opponent goes off, you can Torrential. If yeah, like, I think that's the way I would play it. Of course he has Trunade, but even if he Trunades, you can chain Legacy and like it's fine. If he summons off the Fire Dog, it doesn't feel great, but here you didn't get punished because he has this trap which just summons, which is like a Call of the Haunted for level 2s, which is kind of random. But yeah, now he can basically Brionac your stuff. Of course it's not so bad, like you can summon this from hand, but yeah, basically it kind of sets you back. Sets one and passes. Now he has the Mirror Force. Spear Dragon, again, go for red eyes, go for the white knight. Now when you go to attack, you're gonna get Mirror Force. Yeah, not exactly what you're hoping, but here you have Junk Synchron back to hand, and now he goes. I think this is also too aggressive. Like, I mean, he's on 5,000. Is there a way to win this? I don't think you have a way to end the game, but yeah, I think this is also way too aggressive. But he could have bounced if he really wanted. But I mean, I guess like I would have attacked first and then after done other things if you really need to. But you can just keep attacking with Brionac, and then if they have an answer, you have the Junk Synchron to go into Catastor anytime you need it, or into something else. And you also have Call of the Haunted for the Brionac. I think from both players this was too aggressive. He's gonna chain Call here, get the Brionac back, review the Disaster Dragon. But yeah, I mean, this is a little bit unfortunate. Goes to attack. And yeah, you're behind. Now the Exploder Dragon is gonna get to out the Brionac though. I think, do you take the damage? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to take the damage here. I think they both missed it, perhaps. And you should set the Sorum. I think you just need to set the Sorum. Like, he's used Trunade, like he needs to have exactly heavy, and even if he heavies your Sorum, like Sorum is just an extra protection. Now it goes for the Wyvern. This Ghost Arc is banishing another Junk Synchron. I don't know what these decks are, but yeah, goes for Wyvern. I mean, Wyvern beatdown looks like it might work here. So, but he does have the Junk Synchron. And here you could have Sorum the Junk, but I think it's correct to wait for the Catastor to bottomless, and he should chain the Torrential because he's just dead. Does he have any way to stop? He's just dead, so you don't really need to do anything. He should change the Torrential to his own Catastor because he's dead on board. So yeah, that was a little bit weird. What he could also have done is chain Torrential to the Junk Synchron effect, and that way, but I mean, I understand going for Catastor. Here he rolled us for junk, but you're now using the junk synchro on turn 1. So I think like you can hold the Rhoda. And here, okay, you have the Fossil Dyna from the side, I'm guessing. I don't like setting Dyna because you can just flip this monster and attack your Dyna and you basically don't get any value from it. I think Dyna is something you want to keep or either summon when you're ahead. So what I would rather see is summon something like a Warrior Lady or a Wyvern, and that way you can banish something if you really need to. If you summon Warrior Lady, of course, it might get Bottomless, might get Deep Prison, but I think setting Dyna is the worst option because on turn 2 or whatever, he can just summon his Hedgehog or Pikeman, whatever he has, and just attack over your Fossil Dyna and you're not gonna get any value. Yeah, like even, you know, he plays Fire Dog and like, yeah, and he plays this, like this is just the worst punish. Also, you should Bottomless this Hydrogeddon. Not really sure why, like the reason not to Bottomless this, because like this is a ton of damage, but this turned into 2 cards and also outed your Dyna, which was dying anyway. So I think you should Bottomless there. Go for a Wyvern. Wyvern, Red Eyes is gonna summon the other Wyvern. Again, like even Red Eyes here is not great. I think, yeah, like you're gonna get Deep Prison, you're gonna get Fiendish Chain, perhaps. Now he attacks. I think Utopic Fear plays as well. He's gonna prison this Red Eyes, which feels pretty good. Now this Fromber guy is gonna come down. You do have the Bottomless for the YuGiOh, but yes, you do have that, but it's still a little bit unfortunate. I guess like you have the return, so maybe you don't care about the Deep Prison, and then you chain return, and like he can't chain, basically can't chain any Bottomless to enter, so that's a pretty good play. And then yeah, you get these back. The Red Eyes couldn't bring anything else back, but didn't you have, no, it wasn't game anyway because you had the Warrior Lady. Tend to think 44, he lost 46. With the Warrior Lady would be 1500 more. I guess it wasn't game anyway. So now the goals are, yeah, you know he's getting the Fumble Fire Dog back. So yeah, this is a bit unfortunate. You probably should have like the Warrior Lady on the field, because if you didn't normal summon yet, because yeah, that way you take 1400 less damage. If he has the Fire Dog, and like it just, I mean, it's just a way to kind of make it awkward. Now you can't even really out this because yeah, he has everything. Set 2, but yeah, you're gonna out one of them, but yeah, this is not gonna gain the life. Yeah, I think there was for sure some moments where you could have played this better. And again, I mean, honestly, you're playing, considering like that you're new to Edison, you're playing this pretty well. Like when I started, I played much worse than you. But I would say, yeah, like setting Fossil Dyna here again is big mistake. I think the best thing to do here is either just set Deep Prison or do nothing, set nothing. Because you see he has 2 monsters. I mean, also Fossil Dyna is actually pretty bad in this matchup. He has 2 monsters that summon when they destroy monsters, and they can both kill the Dyna. So I think like that's like one big mistake in general in terms of like side decking. And yeah, this is just the absolute punish. Don't set Dyna on turn 1 in general, but against this deck particularly, like you already got burned by this. You shouldn't make the same mistake. Somebody started this in defense is weird, but okay. You have Oppression. Again, Oppression is okay because even under Oppression, apart from the fact that you do reiterate, but even under Oppression, like he can just still beat you down with his monsters. So like his deck is actually not that special summon heavy. It looks like he special summons a lot, but it's actually like a lot of like beatdown. You do draw the Mirror Force here, but I mean he has more Gold Source, goes for the Diva, and yeah, like here you Mirror Force to take less damage, but I think it's still a game. Like again, none of your cards do anything here. Your deck kind of bricked, and this is why I don't like playing stuff like White Knight Dragon. Yes, in some very specific situations where like I mean like this is a very specific situation where this is gonna come up, and like he I guess you could, when you use MST, didn't you have this in your opening hand? Maybe you could have summoned it then, but yeah, like I guess you then summoned it because you had the set Dyna. So yeah, in general I would say that's like the biggest mistake is like setting Dyna. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like Dyna against this deck is not good, and like you don't really need to set a monster turn 1. I think oftentimes you get punished when you commit things turn 1 that you shouldn't commit. Next Reaper is playing against Korokopikos. Again with Dragon Beat, you have the Totem Dragon here. He's playing some type of Right Sword or Twilight Sword deck. Okay, interesting to see. He has, of course, Richard, of course, Mills Wolf. I would say you don't really care about this enough to bottomless. You'd rather bottomless, like, you know, of course, JDs, you know, Cow Sorcerer, stuff like that. Even Snipe Hunter, like, if he summons this, like, you'd rather bottomless that. I'm surprised he didn't summon the Snipe Hunter, try to snipe your Totem Dragon, because, like, it could well be a Raikou. So, yeah, I guess, like, you want to protect your Totem Dragon, and, like, he kind of helped you here, because he just didn't go for Snipe Hunter to pop this. But, yeah, like, I don't like bottomless the Wolf in general, because, yeah, they could just have a much better follow-up. But, okay, in this specific case, you need the Totem Dragon to survive, so I get that. And now you can normal summon the Red Eyes. To be honest, you could even just hold the Totem Dragon and special summon the Red Eyes if you really wanted to, but you want it in the grave for debris. Or I guess you're special summoning the Red Eyes. I thought this was like two tributes. So this could be tributed, and you can, yeah, you would much rather tribute it so you can special summon this. Yeah, I just don't understand what's going on. I guess, like, yeah, you banish it to do even more damage, but again, like, you're playing against Sideswan, you know he has goals, you know he has Tragoedia, there's very low chance you actually get to basically do all the damage you want to do. And if he has Tragoedia, like, he has ways I mean, he can basically ruin your day here, because he's gonna be bigger monster than all the other ones. It looks like you attacked first with the Red Eyes, which is correct, the Red Eyes Wyvern, and then you want to attack Grass with the biggest monster. That's correct. Into goals, into Trag, he's gonna summon it either way. But if he had less cards in hand, then this, like, one less card, then this would be the correct way to attack. So here he summons Trag, and he just passes. I really don't understand why you wouldn't just attack with the Trag. Like, the Red Eyes just give you the chance to summon. I think this is just such a weird game for so many reasons. He just passes. I really don't get this. I think this is just such a weird game. Okay, Explode Dragon. I guess this has to attack something. Oh, it doesn't get destroyed. So yeah, you try to destroy this with the Exploder Dragon. Yeah, that's a little bit of a misplay. This is not gonna work. Yeah, it's not the same as the DD Warrior Lady. Here, Exploder Dragon is gonna pop the Lyra, but still, you could have even, yeah, like, the target is still on the field. Yeah, this is just, if you don't have an answer, don't, like, commit, like, all the way. I know, like, you need to go for damage. This is an aggressive deck, but yeah, like, I don't like playing too aggressively like this. Now he has recharge. Now it's gonna start going off. Like, you're in a kind of a awkward position. Now you have Soren, Lyra Mills, another Wolf. He's also getting kind of lucky. You do get the Red Eyes back, but he has the Crow. Main deck Crow is something you always have to think about before. Yeah, like that's kind of unfortunate. If you wanted to really play around Crow, what you could have done is kept the Builder in hand so that you could chain it in end phase and bring back the Red Eyes, so then you could summon it again in the end phase. But yeah, now you get lucky that he pops the Legacy Viata, but yeah, you're gonna take a ton of damage here, and I guess, yeah, you're going to game 2. Yeah, I mean, he did play well, or get lucky. I think both players, you could have played this better, but now you have this. This is somewhat difficult for them to out unless they have exactly, like, they have a way to summon a Celestia, or they have exactly Raikou. Like, that's annoying. Here he pops a monster, which is correct, because of course he's gonna mirror Wolf, and yeah, that's the Lightsworn Life. Here you have the Mirror Force, but by summoning this, you kind of force yourself to use the Mirror Force. Of course, this prevents the JD, but he only has 2 cards. He only has 2 names now, so I think this is okay. This could be a little bit soon, because yeah, now you're forced to Mirror Force this Wolf, and you know, it's not really an amazing trade. You summon this back. Now he Crows again. You know he plays Crow, so that's always something you should think about. And yeah, he's, like, moving his trap for some reason. Wizard again, you make this play often. I don't like this play. I think you give him extra information. You want to first flip, and, like, you miss on damage, because, like, if you're going to attack with this and he has goals, now you can't even, I guess, like, attack the goals and clear it. Like, you just leave I think you probably want, if you're attacking with this, I think you want to attack with both. He's used Mirror Force already, so you're not really playing around Mirror Force. The only thing you're playing around is Torrential, and to play around it, you have to summon the Warrior Lady first, and then after the Blizzard Dragon like this, you still run into the Torrential. So yeah, here Trooper comes down, he has a JD, and again, one more reason to attack sooner rather than later. Double JD. Yeah, not too much to do after this, but that's one reason to have Sorim. Of course, if you Sorim, you know, you only, if he has double JD, you lose anyway, most likely. But if you have the Sorim set, at least you would be able to negate one. I think it's a big mistake not to set Sorim in that situation. It's one of the best cards to protect you. And yeah, here it's gonna JD again, and yeah, you can dash shoot, but I don't think there's much of a point to set the Sorim now. You can't Sorim the effect. Yeah, I think this was kind of loosely played. Against the right one specifically, you need the Sorim set for the JD plays. You could have played this better, I think, just done more damage with the Warrior Lady Blizzard Dragon. Yes, I know you want to keep it set, keep it hidden sometimes, but either you don't summon the Blizzard Dragon, or if you go for damage, which I don't mind too much, you have to attack with both, in my opinion. Into the last replay, playing against Sean Zoomer. And here you finally do what I say, which is like flip and attack. Like if you're going for damage, you should go for it. This is another right throne deck, it looks like. It's kind of a strange right throne deck with return. Okay, the monsters, you could attack with both. I would say the point with this going to defense is that your opponent can just attack over it, and now they don't need to even attack over the Masked Dragon. So it might have been better just to hold this in hand and have the DD Warrior Lady out, because it's just a better spot. I guess, yeah, never mind. Actually, yeah, this was supposed to go to defense. He plays main deck Kaiko, which is interesting. Now you get the Future Fusion back, and now you keep attacking. He doesn't really have an answer for this. Again, this is why Oppression is not amazing. And yeah, this negates Oppression, negates the Future Fusion, negates any effect that gets to special summon. So here, yeah, this was supposed to be in defense before anyway, but yeah, he has a Trooper here. He's on 600 life points. I really don't understand summoning a Trooper, because, okay, I guess yeah, you can, wait a second, did you just mirror the break spreader of the Trooper? I hope you already had it in grave, otherwise like he was just dead. The Trooper would just make him dead. So Catastrophe destroys this because of the effect. So it looks like you didn't get to summon your monster. For those of you wondering, the reason why that works is because the Masked Dragon was face up, or the reason why you don't get to summon off the Masked Dragon is because it's not a dark monster, so the Catastrophe effect will activate, and the Masked Dragon was face up, so the Catastrophe would destroy it with its effect at the beginning of the damage step, and this has to basically activate the effect at the end of the damage step after the whole damage step goes through. This then gets destroyed and it would activate its effect. But Catastrophe does this at the beginning of damage step, so the Masked Dragon doesn't get its effect, and that's because it was face up. Had it been set, the Catastrophe can't see that it's not a dark monster, so it would attack and then the Masked Dragon would get its effect. So that's kind of a way to understand it. Same thing with Pyramid Turtle and things like that. Now, Warrior Lady does get to out the Brionac. I believe you said it before, like I don't think that's smart, because you just take more damage. I think you need to out it as quickly as possible. And again, you have Catastrophe really beating down. It's pretty strong against this deck. Even the Exploder Dragon, to make this beat the Catastrophe, you have to, or destroy Catastrophe, you have to set it and hope he attacks into it. If you attack with your Exploder Dragon, then Catastrophe would negate and destroy it with its effect. So now Legacy of Yata is used. I think like you have a pretty clean answer. So yeah, we're done to set it. You set 2. I like setting 2 with a draw trap, because your opponent could heavy or something like that, and then you get to use the effect. You get to use the draw trap. Yeah, I don't love using this preemptively, simply because you don't really have much protection, and you had already 2 normal summons. You're probably summoning the Wyvern anyway, so I don't really like this. I don't really like using the Legacy of Yata before. Now Wyvern runs into the Mirror Force. At least you didn't run into the Mirror Force with your Red Eyes, so that's, at least you played it a little bit more carefully. However, with the Starlight Road, you know, you could argue. The problem is you normal summon this turn. You can't use this the effect of the Wyvern. And now he's gonna start drawing cards. This is kind of a interesting deck he's playing. Bottomless on Thunder King. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now you go for the red eyes, and like I guess he has a dead dash shoot. You have the Starlight Road, so you're fine to summon 2 and attack for game. He has the Battle Fader though, so he's gonna protect it. And yeah, the Starlight here. Actually, before you need to dash shoot, and now unfortunately he has 2 Kaioses, so he can out this. What he could have also done, which I think is perhaps even better, is actually it's not, because you have already the Wyvern in the grave. What he could have also done is Brain Control, but yeah, this is fine. So here, I guess this can summon itself to save you for a turn, and your opponent decided to go for the win, which I think is very greedy. Based on the fact you have 2 sets, this set is kind of telegraphed that it's not doing much, and yeah, I think this is kind of greedy, to be honest. I know you want to go for game. A better way to go for game, I guess you don't really have a better way to go for game. I guess you went for it. Can't really blame him for that, but yeah, this was kind of a game losing in this spot. I think considering he didn't have an answer to the attack, and you already used the prison, I think he could have just attacked and seen what happened. I think this is a little bit. He got greedy and kind of got very punished for this. So you did get to win the game. So yeah, really close game. Well played in this one towards the end. You kind of got lucky, I have to say, because I think a better opponent wouldn't have committed into your bottomless so easily. But I hope you learned something from this video. I hope everybody learned, or every beginner learned something from this video. I think it's really cool that you're asking me for advice, because I think it's one good way to learn rulings and things like that very quickly, is just to ask someone, and somebody who knows the rulings or knows how to play. I would say my advice for you is to, as much as possible, learn the rulings. There's a really good resource called edisonformat.net. So all the questions you have about rulings, about Catastro, about future fusions versus the Draco are all there on the edisonformat.net website, where they explain everything. It's a really great resource. That's how I learn a lot of things about the format. A lot of the things I know I learned from the website. And the other thing is just to watch replays or watch videos kind of explaining concepts and things that can help you improve your game. But one of the first steps I would say, just kind of understand basic concepts, like when to set things, when to attack, how to play around different things. As you play more the format, you understand what traps are played, and you see like bottomless, mirror force, prison, torrential is really like the most common things you're playing around. And then learning the rulings, that's extremely important, and that's kind of my first advice as you get started into this format. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to get better at Edison, and I'll catch you in the next one.